Hi, it's Janine again. Today, right now, I wanted to go over um, the decisions, why, and what made me come to the decision to do a total joint replacement on my jaw. As if you've watched some of my other videos, I'm going to have both sides done on my jaw, joint replaced. I have TMJD, degenerative bone loss, arthritis, spurs, dislocated discs, causes a lot of pain. My teeth don't meet. Chewing is sometimes difficult. It sometimes gets really difficult to chew anything chewy. So even my gummy vitamins are getting harder to chew. Um, Meats and chicken, anything meat or chicken. Um, I can eat it a little bit, but I can only stand so much before it starts hurting, or or that I just don't have enough strength. I just can't do it because my muscles are too tired and or they just don't want to work anymore. It's kind of like trying to run a marathon when you're totally out of shape. Your muscles at some point are just going to go, I don't want to do this anymore. um and my another reason, I snore really bad, and part of it's because of my jaw sliding back into my throat. I tend to want to position my lower jaw out further, to reduce the bone on bone feeling and pain in my joint. I get the shooting pains going from my joint into my face and down my neck. My ears plugged. I've dealt with this for a very long time, and it just is getting worse and worse. It's gotten since probably 2012, 2014. It's continuously gotten a lot worse. Botox, as I just did a video on Botox. Botox does help with the muscle pain, but it doesn't help with the joint pain. It doesn't help, with my teeth coming together or chewing correctly, or my teeth in the front don't meet, so I can't bite off anything. I have an open bite, so I'm getting braces to fix all of that. But in order to have the joint replacement, I have to have braces first for 6 to 9 months to get my teeth to where they should, or straighten to where they'll meet up better. So when the joint is replaced, they can put the teeth where they're supposed to meet, and then we can do any final adjustments with my bite after that. If anything needs to be adjusted. So I was offered, or should I say, I wasn't offered. I was given the choice by another doctor to have my joints washed out, where they put 2 needles in. They put in fluid and wash the joint out. Put some lidocaine in there. That doesn't help the discs. That doesn't help, because both of my discs are displaced. It doesn't help that at all. It's not going to put them back. They're not going to magically slide back into place. They've been displaced for 2-3 years at least, that I know of. I just got an MRI this year, which confirmed that, which they thought that was probably the case beforehand, but it was never they didn't do the MRI to actually see that the joint was displaced, or the disc was displaced. So washing the joint out isn't going to do anything for that. A lot of people that I've talked to, I'm on a lot of Facebook pages and have read a lot of stuff, and a lot of people say it just didn't work. It didn't work for that long. Worked for a few months. It worked for a year. I also have bone spurs in there. I'm bone on bone. So I've got arthritis, And it's also been said that it makes the arthritis worse when you do that, and that it will even degenerate faster. So that was a real concern for me going that route, um, to actually, possibly creating more issues in the meantime. He actually had said too, you're going to need a joint replacement at some point. Okay, so why not get the joint replacement? Well, because he says insurances like to try other preventative or other lesser measures first. Okay, but that means that I have to have that surgery, possibly it done a second time. Some people have it done 2, 3 times before doing anything else. The other thing was a disc, removing the disc, so discotomy or something like that. I'm not good on my medical terms and the pronouncing that sort of stuff, so bear with me on that one. But this is where they open it up, they take the disc out. Sometimes they'll replace it with fat, or some people say that they've had theirs put back in and pinned in, but that wouldn't have that to me isn't a very good option. It's like a rubber band, that disc, and once it's all stretched out, then what I've read is that it doesn't go back. It's not going to be the same. The best was a fat graft, or they take the muscle from up here and bring it down and attach it. So that was an issue that I thought was something that was possibly something that would help, and that would help me regain my opening, put some padding in there to where I wasn't bone on bone, and I thought that was a good option, but he didn't think so. So I went to another doctor for a second opinion, and I actually went to the TMJ Concepts, who makes the joints that my insurance authorizes, and I went to them and I asked them who does the most jaw joint replacements in my area, and they gave me Dr. Bobeck in Seattle. And so we went there, talked to him, and went over all the options. And he gave pros and cons on each option, which are the pros and cons that I thought. The washing out of the joint wasn't going to help, because it's could just make it worse, and it's not going to cause me any solution. It's not going to do anything. It might help with the pain for a short period of time, if that. But because I have spurs in there, it's not going to do very much for very long. Pulling the disc out, same thing. It's not going to fix anything that I've got going on. My jaw's deteriorated in the joint, so the condyles are smaller, and so the condyle is the ball, the part that is here with the ball at the end, and then you've got the cup that's in your skull. That portion, I don't know the technical terms of that, but that portion is eroded away, as well as the ball is distorted and eroded and has arthritis that goes into that joint. So both of those are damaged. Both of those are degenerative. Both of them have bone loss. I've got all that, and that more on my right side than my left side, but it's happening and has happened on my left side as well. So that was something. Another thing was I didn't want to go through multiple surgeries. I'm 49. By the time I went through 1, 2, 3 surgeries. Each time you go through a surgery, you have scar tissue. Each time you go through a surgery, you're putting more stress on your body. And if I'm going to have to do this, do surgery after surgery, I'm upping that risk. Also, there's nerve damage that can happen, and that's my the scariest thing to me is doing the total joint replacement is that there's nerves that go all over. A lot of people, their chin's numb, their lips numb, sometimes their nose, or I think those are Le Fort patients, which we're not doing upper jaw, we're just doing the jaw joint, the lower jaw. But still, all the nerve pain, you can lose the muscle, the nerves that make you smile. Some people can smile on one side and not the other. You can have problems with closing your eyes and with your eyes. So there's a lot of nerve issues that can happen. Doing multiple surgeries on my face is not something that I want to do. I don't care about the scars. I do care about being paralyzed or nerve damage. And the more you do it, I think the more chances you are to have an issue or possible issue. So that's something that I considered. Another thing was, I'm sorry, I'm looking at notes. Another thing was the timing. Again, my age. I'm 49. It's estimated that the joints last 20 to 30 years. So if I'm going to be 50 when they do the joint replacement, that means I'd be 70 to 80 if I need a second joint replacement. I'm hoping that if I just treat them right, then they'll last me the rest of my life. If I'm alive still then, hopefully I will be. I do have good genes. My grandparents are in their 100 and 102 now. I've got some pretty good genes. So I'm thinking too, if I get it done now, in 20 years, I'd rather be, even if it was 15 years, I'd rather be doing a second surgery of replacing my joint at 65, 70, 75, rather than, closer to 80. So that's another consideration for me. The longer I wait, then when I have to have a revision done, then if I have to have a revision done, then I'm on the little younger side than older. Another thing is the pain. I've been in pain for a long time. I've had issues for a very long time. The pain is getting worse and worse. And frankly, I'd like to not have to do the Botox, not be in pain, be able to enjoy the rest of my life. I'm hoping to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. So I would like to enjoy that retirement and not be in total pain all the time. So that's where I am with that. I hope this answered some questions for some people, or given you some things to think about. But this is my journey, and I'll keep you updated as to what happens. Talk to you again. Bye.